All right.
by wishing you good morning. And Anuj and me are really excited about the fact that all week, Bazaar is going to be, and all the shows are going to be talking about the growth potential from a high growth city like Bengaluru. In fact, you met with Narayan Murthy over the weekend. What were the key takeaways from that interesting discussion?
Well, he was a mix of caution and optimism, but on IT sector itself, he was very optimistic. Lips were sealed as far as Infosys was concerned, silent period and all that. But with respect to the IT sector in general, he was speaking about TCS, and I worried about the fact that, for 3 consecutive years, you've been seeing a volume slowdown. You've been seeing the margins come off a little bit thin, slice by slice. Mindtree also gave us the same feeling. Persistent and other companies have already given us profit warnings. Gartner has given us a sales scare. But he said that he wouldn't really worry. He thinks that there are a lot of intelligent people, a lot of investment in R&D happening across the board. At the helm of every IT sector are people who have proven themselves, Vishal Sikka or Chandrasekhar of TCS or Krishna Kumar of Mindtree. He was very confident about their ability to, reinvent themselves, and he was very confident about them giving double-digit growth. However, his last sentence was 15% is not a small percentage of growth. So there you are. He expects that 15% is going to remain, and you're not going to get that huge double digits that we were getting, or so it seems reading between the lines. But there was an overall exuding of optimism about the IT sector itself. About the rest of the economy, he believes that India has what it takes to take advantage of this weak global environment and remain in investor radar. You have a great political leadership as well as you have a great leadership in the RBI. So we should be noticed, he says, through all these macroeconomic turmoil. We should stand out because both sides are well led by great leaders. But, on the economy, there was definitely a bit of caution. He said we have to prove, we can't keep on marketing ourselves. Ultimately, after every marketing, the product has to look good. So we better deliver. That urgency was definitely there, however muted.
No, I take that point completely, Latha. I mean, that caution is much appreciated, because even if you look at what happened over the weekend, the earnings that came out from the likes of ACC, Federal Bank, Karnataka Bank, just goes to show that perhaps the pain is not over yet. So putting all of those cues into perspective, how would you approach this week?
Well, I don't think Monday morning we have very great cues. I don't like to say that ever on a Monday morning, but look at the Asian cues. At the moment, they're all in the green, but it's just iffy. Wall Street cues were negative. Of course, I must point out that NASDAQ has ended brilliantly, despite the fact that many of the companies like Google did not really report very good numbers in the week that was. But NASDAQ is doing very well, so our IT sector, I think, is going to be the countervailing force. But the smokestack stocks, economy-facing stocks, financials, I will really take the cue from what you pointed out. Federal Bank and Karnataka Bank. I mean, Federal Bank was the bluest of blue chips. It's almost being on the verge where people are pulling it towards the HDFC banks and the Axis Bank category. But look at the NPL numbers. Likewise for Karnataka Bank, very reminiscent of what DCB reported, what South Indian Bank reported. Now it is a pattern. It is not a one-off. It is now the entire category is giving us some kind of blues. That could be reflective of the economy. That could be reflective that many more people are not going to pay back banks the loans they have taken. So I expect that to definitely be a dampener for the market. So Asia not starting, global cues not terribly exciting. The banking cues are reflective of an economy. They are not just reflective of the sector. That's going to be negative. The parliamentary session, yes, the compromises arrived on GST are good, but my suspicion is that the headlines will be dominated by the monsoon session rather being a washout because of all those corruption charges which will be highlighted, or at least allegations which will be highlighted by the Congress and the opposition parties. And thirdly, monsoon. Both SkyMet and the Met have told us that starting 21st or 23rd, the monsoons should improve. If we don't see that improvement this week, by the end of the week, I think the markets will get a reality touch.
I agree completely. If a highly bred private sector bank like Federal Bank can report asset quality pressures, I shudder to think what the PSU banks will report this quarter. But having said that, it's a very earnings heavy week. So we have lots of stocks to talk about. We have Reliance, HUL, HDFC Bank, Infi, Asian Paints. All of them will be reporting their earnings this week. And even if you look at what happened on Friday, although the Nifty is sitting at a 3-month high, there was not so much buying. FIIs bought about 606 crores in the cash markets on Friday, but none of that was really backed by too much delivery-based buying. Anuj, hi, morning. What's the sense you're getting? We had a very good week, a smooth week last week,
Yes.
but now, you have to put your money where your mouth is, right? I mean, now all the big earnings come out, and we've not got very good signs from the initial earnings calendar.
Morning, Sonia. If you thought you're going to get positive cues out of earnings season, in any case, you're a bit misplaced in terms of your optimism. But having said that, I think right now the way to play this market is still to remain long. This is not a market in which you want to short yet. If the market reverses, it will give you signals. As of now, the market has not given any signal. But I take your point. I think the mid-cap index is at lifetime high. The Nifty Junior is at lifetime high, which is telling you that the market is right now feeling good about itself. Traders are feeling good because their stocks are making money. Portfolios are making money. That's what the Nifty Junior and the mid-cap index is telling you. 600 crores of cash market buying, but again, delivery volumes were very low. The gross volumes were very low. And this DIS selling is something that you have to take on board, because in the medium term, that's quite a savvy indicator of where the market might be going in the medium term. What's worrying me right now is the put-call ratio and the India VIX. The put-call ratio has already gone up to 1.22. The India VIX is consistently trading below 15 or around 15. These are complacency indicators. And sometimes complacency is not good for the market, because, you need a bit of fear factor in the market. If that goes away, then, there's good chance of, market seeing 1 or 2 days of really bad days. You could have maybe today, you could have it tomorrow. One day of maybe 80, 100 point Nifty fall, which comes out of nowhere because almost everyone is all in with long position. So that's the worry right now. Having said that, I was looking at the options data as well. There was massive put buying and put selling. In fact, from FIIs, there was similar amount of put buying and selling, 50,000 contracts. So that's telling you that the market is evenly poised. At this point in time, the way to play this market is maybe to stay long, but maybe raise your stop losses. And if you are a slightly weak heart trader, might be a good time to book partial profit and wait for the market to give you a signal to buy again. But for individual stocks, of course, the strategy should still remain the same, which is if you got into good quality stocks, you should stay invested, but time to raise your stop losses maybe.
So in terms of earnings, everyone knows that the earnings season will in all likelihood be weak. But what about the other trigger, which is the monsoon session of the parliament? Now there is some progress made on GST, in the sense that at least the regional parties are on board. The Congress has been isolated. Is that a trigger that the market is pinning its hopes on?
I tell you one thing, I think the market had factored in no business being done in Parliament. So if anything happens,
it's a positive.
It's a positive. So the incremental negative, I think, may not impact the market much, but any incremental positive, the market should take that positively, because as I said, the market had factored in, again, a bit of a washout session. So in that sense, if there is some negotiations which are bearing fruit, if something turns out positive, that's good news for the market.
All right. Well, we have our special lined up on Bazaar all of this week, and our Bangalore special this morning. Here's what you'll get to see on the show. Bangalore gave the country its first crop of wealth creators from the IT industry. We asked TV Mohandas Pai, IT veteran